What's up, guys? About to kick this thing off here in just a moment. Give you guys a little bit of time to get up in here, and we'll get started. So I first want to say what's up to everybody, man. I appreciate you guys coming through. For you guys who have come through, always appreciate that. So like I said, man, we'll get started here in just a moment. And not going to be too long tonight, man. I am actually under a time limit tonight, so I got to keep mindful of the time. Need to be done just before 6:30, so it's not going to be too long. Again, you may hear background noise in the background. My son is wilding upstairs. My wife is cooking dinner. So, it is what it is. So I'll wait a few minutes here. Well, actually, we're already at double-digit numbers, so that's great. Let's go ahead and do it, man. So how's everybody been doing, man? Unfortunately, guys, we're not talking about a Steelers win or a Steelers loss because we didn't make it to the AFC Championship game against the New England Patriots. And it's kind of funny, man, because when you look at how that game transpired, I couldn't help but to think, man, the Steelers definitely could have had a chance. We saw the chance that we had when we played the New England Patriots in Heinz Field. What's up, Tony? Shouts out to my brother Tony. Shouts out to Mariano, Jalair, Minnie Jordan, all of you guys, Jonathan Edwards, Cody Harris, all of you guys, man. And forgive me if I missed you guys, but what's up to everybody? Appreciate y'all coming through. Benny Mans, appreciate that. I couldn't help but to imagine what the Steelers may have been able to do in that game. Again, we saw what happened when in Week 15. We all know how we feel about that game. But then you saw the Jacksonville Jaguars able to move the ball on the Patriots. But what actually happened? The Patriots figured out what the Jags were doing, which the Jags really don't have a powerful offense. They're very vanilla, which hurts even more as a Steelers fan because we just couldn't... We could not stop play action and running game. And of course, obviously if you can do that with any team, you'll be successful. But that's really the only attack the Jags have that's a strong attack. Running the ball and play action. That's it. That's it. The Jags didn't have enough offense to keep that game under wraps. And their defense, which is a great defense, phenomenal defense, as you can see, they can be scored on. We showed that when we put up 42 offensive points. It is what it is, man. If you're not able to produce enough offense, hey, you cannot do that against the New England Patriots. And then, of course, there was some things in there that was kind of questionable with the refs. We all know that. Well, everybody knows how everybody mainly feels about New England. It is what it is, man. But even up against those odds, you have to do everything right and control the ball, control the clock, put some points on the board if you're going to beat the New England Patriots. But we clearly saw that the Patriots are able to be beat. The Steelers, in my opinion, still outplayed them in Week 15. And then also, you saw the Jacksonville Jaguars almost pull one out. So it is what it is. But it just hurt me to my heart, man, that looking at that game and we weren't watching the Steelers, not just because I'm a Steeler fan, but come on, man. The number 2 seed, 13-3, you expect them to be in that game. And they're not. And they actually possibly would have had a chance to win that game, but who knows? Because with our defense, the whole Rob Gronkowski and Brady connection probably would have stung us again late in the game. Let's be honest. So anyway, let's talk about some quick things here. Like I said, I don't have a lot of time. Dimitri, I'm not really going to dive into too much of that right now. Trust me, guys, here in the off season, we're going to start doing some of these videos, just to give you guys a heads up on how I'm going to do them. I'm going to try to do it weekly, but I may take some weeks off here and there, just depending on participation. So you guys really will be the vehicle that drives how often I do this show here in the off season. But we're definitely going to rate, our positions. I like to mimic what the Steelers, .com does, rating positions and things like that. And then we'll talk about prospective, free agents, and we'll start talking about draft guys. I know Alex Kazor is heading down to the Senior Bowl, so I'm interested in hearing, his scouting report, and I can give my thoughts on that. Because that's what I do here, guys. I have a lot of information that I bring, but then I also, I research. I look at, Dave and Dave from Terrible Podcast. I look at Alex Kazor and SteelersDepot.com and, Jerry Dulac and all of these guys. I just compile information from other Steeler writers and find out, you know, what they're thinking, and I'll give my thoughts on that. And like I said, I introduce my own stuff as well. Y'all know my style, so you can definitely expect that to come. Now, let's talk about Le'Veon Bell. Well, let's talk Todd Haley first. Todd Haley's, we can quickly get through that. And I want to hear you guys' comments as well while we have some time here. What are your thoughts on the Steelers not renewing Todd Haley? I know we talked about it a little bit last week, but now we know that he signed with the Browns. So what are you guys' thoughts on that? Were you ready for Todd Haley to go? Do you think he'll be successful with the Browns? Hugh Jackson kind of, you know, being a quarterback guy himself and calling plays. Do you think they specifically hired Todd Haley to run the offense? Or will Hugh still have his imprint on it? You know, so I want to hear your thoughts on that. I'm not overly concerned. I mean, hey, no disrespect to the Browns, but listen, you know, I'm a Steelers fan, bruh. So I expect us to be the class of the division. You know, give definitely some respect to the Ravens because it could go tit for tat. But I expect my team to pull out the division. So I'm not going to be concerned about a player or a coach going within the division. It's not going to scare me. You understand what I'm saying? It's going to be interesting to see what quarterback will be, you know, the captain of that ship, so to speak. Is it going to be Kaiser, or are they going to get Donald or one of these guys out of the draft? So we'll see. But I'm not overly concerned about Todd Haley. Hey, it is what it is, dude. Go get your money. I'm not mad at that. Go ahead and continue coaching. You know, we just no longer need your services. Now, real quick on Todd Haley, guys, we have to bring this up again. Todd Haley has allowed Ben Roethlisberger to be sacked a lot less. If you look at the stats, and I'll actually get those stats for you guys, if I can find them again, maybe put them in the description here, or, you know, quote them off in another video. But the Arians era to the Todd Haley era, Ben Roethlisberger did flourish as far as being sacked less. So you got to give Todd some credit there. And it's not just this season, because the offense got going late in this season and we started getting real powerful. But if you look at Todd Haley's tenure, how many times have we all questioned his, you know, his predictableness, I guess you would say. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. I think his time was up. All right. And of course, you know, somebody here is saying they wanted Tomlin gone. Hey, that's your opinion. I'll have mine. I'm not even going to address that because we're never going to see eye to eye. So let's talk Le'Veon Bell real quick, guys. Interesting. I'm going to be honest with you, man. And shout outs to Dave Bryan on SteelersDepot.com. He does a wonderful job with recapping, you know, cap situations and, you know, future contracts, et cetera, et cetera. He's really good with that kind of stuff. I might have to agree with this, guys. The sentiment, even on the net, there's some guys writing some articles about it. I don't think Le'Veon Bell is back, man. I wasn't sure, but the more and more I look at the money side of things, let me come at it from this direction. Is it likely that Le'Veon Bell signs a deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers for, let's say, $12 million per year, which was the rumor last year, right? It was rumored that they offered him a 5-year deal, $60 million deal, whatever it was, something like that, but it was supposed to put him at about 12 per, right? He didn't sign that. He got tagged at 12.5, played under the 12 million or 12.5, whatever it was. We know it was at least 12 million. Played under that tag, right? He comes out and he says that before he's tagged, he'll retire or consider not signing it, which in my opinion, I don't believe that for a minute, because if somebody is dangling 14.5 in your face, roughly 15 million, you ain't going to sign that? You going to sit out a whole year? Come on, stop playing. Or you going to retire? Makes no sense to me. Now, here's the thing. Considering that figure, I believe it's 15, but let's put it on a lower perspective. Let's say 14.5. Do you think he's going to sign a deal for less than that per year? You know, it's been rumored that Le'Veon Bell is talking about he wants 15 to 17 a million a year. I don't think he gets that, folks. You look at around the league, you look at guys like Shady McCoy, which I think is the next highest, I think. I could be wrong, but he's making about 8. I don't think Le'Veon Bell is going to get that from the Steelers. And hey, I don't expect him to get that from anybody. That's a lot of money for a running back. Now listen, I love Le'Veon Bell. But I have to listen to other people's opinion. Again, I'm giving all this credit to Dave Bryant on Terrible Towel, not Terrible Towel, the Terrible Podcast, and SteelersDepot.com. He's the owner. He's one of the writers. He said this as well. And he's always said this. Le'Veon Bell is not a home run hitter. He's ranked like 26 or something like that with runs more than 20 yards. He's not a home run hitter. He's very talented. Of course, I love Bell, and I would love to keep him. Bell cow. Hand him the ball 30 times a game, and, he picks up these yards, makes guys miss when, he's a good receiving back. But we got to look at it from this perspective. You can get that production with a couple other guys. Look around the league. Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram. That's two guys giving you that kind of production. Todd Gurley. Just look at a lot of these guys. Look at a lot of these teams with two back sets. Or not sets, but two backs or two or three backs that they rotate. Look at Philadelphia now. What I'm saying is, based on other needs, is Le'Veon Bell worth 15 or 16 million per year against our cap? I don't know, folks. I would love to keep him, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure he comes back, man. I'm not sure the Steelers are going to spend that kind of money on him. Think about it. I don't even think Antonio Brown, I don't know if he's making that much a year. It's a lot of contracts out there. Now, some people would say, hey, hate to say this, but Ryan Shazier, obviously, we don't know his future. It's very likely he's not going to play in 2018. So you have some money that you may have expected to have to spend that's going to be open. But still, is he worth that kind of money? I say no. Look at all these rookies, man, that's giving contributions. Your Christian McCaffreys and your Kareem Hunts. I mean, look at the production. You mean to tell me that the Steelers couldn't get a two-back, backfield? Maybe James Conner comes back healthy. Excuse me. And you get another guy. Dave Bryant said, imagine the Steelers, going after Giovanni Bernard. He's going to be a free agent. He said, imagine having Gio and maybe a James Conner and another guy perhaps. You see what I'm saying? I have to, at this point, side with him. I don't think you re-sign this guy for that much money. And I don't think you spend $15 million in cap space to tag him. That's me personally. I don't think you do it. It's very possible that we've seen the last of Le'Veon Bell, guys. Just my thoughts. And yeah, there you have it. Those are my thoughts today, guys. Like I said, I don't have a ton of time today. I got to be done. So what I want to do, and see if I have anything else here to talk about, and I want to hit some of you guys' comments. So the Steelers don't hire Hines Ward as a receivers coach. I'm not mad at that. They hire a guy that definitely has pedigree. Not even going to give you the name. I'm going to leave some homework for you guys. But this guy has pedigree. This guy actually coached Hines Ward when he was in college. I'm with that move. Just because Hines Ward was a great Steelers receiver doesn't necessarily mean he would have been a great coach. So I'm cool with that. Defensive staff is still intact. We're going to talk about that. I wanted this episode to kind of go on that, but maybe we'll talk about that next week. I'm going to give you my thoughts, guys, on the defensive staff being intact as of now. You never know what might happen, but it seems like everyone's coming back. I'm going to give my full thoughts on that. I'm not 100% sure that it's just the coaching staff, even though it's easy for us to blame Butler. We're going to talk about that next week, all right? So that's about it. That's about it. So let me see what you guys got, man. I want to definitely give some of you guys some credit here and answer some questions or comment on some things before we get out of here. Let's see. Excuse me. Send Producer says, when are you going to release your mock draft, and what position do you think the Steelers would draft in the first round? We're a long way from my mock draft, man. I got to really, I got to get in, I guess, coach mode and go research some of these guys, look at some film. I don't always have a lot of time to watch a lot of college football. I'm a Florida State fan. I've seen a ton of their games. I've watched other games. Obviously I've watched Alabama and Georgia and, Penn State and, a couple other teams I've had the ability to watch. I've watched a lot of Louisville games, you know, just keeping an eye on Lamar Jackson. But we're a long ways from that. As far as what I think we need to draft first round, I don't know yet. I would say inside backer, but we know the Steelers. We know the Steelers are going to get the best available. But I would say position of need automatically needs to be inside linebacker. And I wouldn't be mad if they got another one in the second round. We are weak in the inside, and we're thin on the outside. I will comment on this real quick, guys. Let me speed it up a little bit so I can get to some more comments. In the cornerback area, I don't think we need as much help as we think. We still got to give Artie Burns his third year to see how he pans out. We'll see. Cam Sutton may be an up-and-coming. Okay? Mike Hilton did a great job in the slot, both coverage and blitzing and tackling. And I'm going to go ahead and say the Steelers probably bring Joe Hayden back. They're probably going to keep him around. If the Steelers draft a corner in the first round or so, again, I'm giving credit to Steelers Depot. Dave Bryant makes an excellent point here. If the Steelers go corner in the first round, that's probably an indication that Joe Hayden's not going to be there. So if they do that, maybe they don't have confidence in paying him that money with him being older. If they don't, Joe Hayden's going to be there. I think we're pretty decent at corner. You can pick a guy up later on. Doesn't need to be your first round pick. I would expect it to be an inside backer or an outside linebacker first out to shoot. That's what I would think. Let's see. What else you guys got? And Vance McDonald. Ethan Bopp says this. Vance McDonald, I think he stays. They're not going to release him, I don't believe. They're not going to, discontinue that 2-year contract I think he signed. I think it was 2 years. Might have been 3. So I don't think we go tight end in the first round either. Just my thoughts. If you can keep Vance McDonald healthy, we saw what he's able to do. If he can stay healthy and he can shore up his catching, because, he's dropped a few, we'll be okay. Let's see here. Love the shirt. Oh, thanks, Delta. Yeah, man. Steelers all day, man. Got the logo there, so I appreciate that. Dimitri says, I think getting rid of tension between Ben and the OC is a good thing. Fietner and Ben look like a good match. Absolutely. If anybody knows Randy Fietner, that Ben likes him. That's his guy. It was reported that Fietner was more on the sideline during games, and you mainly saw, think about it, we always saw Ben talking to him later on in the season. It's reported that he was the buffer between him and Todd Haley. So I think that's more so the reason why Todd is gone, as well as possibly some production, but you got to give credit. Our offense did produce under Todd Haley. We just didn't always agree with some of his play calling and his passiveness in times where one thing I have to respect the Patriots about, I've said this before, the Patriots keep their foot on the gas, man. And I hate that our team doesn't do that. We get very passive. And those kind of things you got to put on the offensive coordinator. So I think a combination of that during his tenure and a relationship with him and Ben is the reason why we didn't renew it. Let's see what else you guys got going on here. Let me get somebody who I haven't spoke on yet. Victor says, do not forget Mike Munchak. Do you mean don't forget him as far as his credit for Ben not being sacked? I think that's what you're referring to. If that's what you're saying, absolutely, I agree. You got to give some credit to the O-line as well. So offensive coordinator, O-line, all of that goes together in terms of the sack reduction. So is it all Todd Haley's doing, or is Mike Munchak getting those guys playing better? So great point there. Debbie J, hey, how you doing, Debbie, man? I appreciate all your comments as well, and I thank you again for your donation before. She says, didn't think he was the biggest issue, but not worried. Browns have no weapon threats. Thought it was odd, like you said, who will be charged for real? Who will be in charge for real, Hugh or Todd? That's what I'm saying. Because we know Hugh's pedigree. So how is that going to work? I don't know. That's interesting. We'll see how that works. Delta N. I'm trying to figure out what the name actually means, but Delta says Tomlin is the second best coach in the NFL. Listen, that's what I think, man. I'm not going to argue with people who want him fired. I don't think he's the problem. Y'all know I feel that way. But I say if you look at the last 10 years, you got Big Bad Bill, you got Pete Carroll and Mike Tomlin right up in there. After that, And then if you want to talk about wins, you got Mike McCarthy, who I believe is second or third. I think Tomlin is second or third, or it might be reversed. It might be Belichick, McCarthy, and Tomlin as far as wins, or Tomlin might be second and McCarthy is third. But all in all, come on, man. I mean, at the end of the day, for those who feel like he should be gone, I'm not going to convince you. Same way you're not going to convince me that he shouldn't stay. You know, so it is what it is. Derek Frazier says, why do teams refuse to run the damn ball against teams when having a lead late in games, especially when the opposing team isn't really stopping the run, i.e. Jaguars, Georgia, and the Falcons? I will comment real quick, and I'm going to have to get out of here, guys. I got maybe 2 more minutes. New England was starting to stop the run a little bit. You know, New England kind of put the clamps on it a little bit in the second half. So I'm not mad at them there, but I definitely agree with your sentiment. Let's see here. J.J. Walker, there's only 2 running backs in the league that can do what he does at his size. Very true, man. But again, do you pay him $17 million a year? $15 to $7 million a year? I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm just saying. That's just my opinion. Let's see. Dez says, you should sign Bell to make sure future Steelers greats want to stay, but y'all blanked him around. I'm not going to say that, but Dez, no, that's my boy. I'm just not going to say it on here. Blanked him around so long that I can't see him wanting to stay. You might have a point there, but I don't know, Dez. If it's me, if I'm in the front office, I can't give him that money. That's too much. That's too much money. Way too much. Let's see. What else you guys are saying? I have maybe one more comment I can read. We definitely need a safety. Jair Reed says, I absolutely agree. I don't know if they go first round. However, if the guy is there, if that guy is there, they may do it. But, yeah. Oh, wow, man. There goes Cody again. You guys, man. Thank you for the donation. You guys are the best, man. Y'all have no idea. Let's see. What else? One more, guys, and we got to go. Shouts out to my man Todd Chapman, and I'm shouting him out because we talk a lot on Twitter, even though I'm on there very little now, but he's been a guy that's commented and talked to me quite a few times. Loyal, still a fan as well. So shouts out to him. He says, we have dangerous weapons have to be turned loose. You talking about on our team? Yeah, absolutely, man. And again, that's why I think Todd maybe didn't necessarily work in the grand scheme of things. He just didn't get guys involved. I mean, look at that play New England ran, the double screen reverse and threw it back to it. We don't never do anything creative like that. And why wouldn't you with the talent that's on that team? Or why wouldn't you allow Roethlisberger to run the show at times? I mean, when we go no huddle, look at how unstoppable he was against the Titans in the second half. Now, granted, some people can pick on their defense, but still, Ben is masterful. He's masterful when he's in the no huddle, and we rarely ran it. I just don't understand that. But again, I'm going to say this again. Roethlisberger, stop throwing coaches under the bus. I don't like that. I don't like that. Cut it out. So, all right, guys, we got to go, man. I got to get out of here. One last comment. If LeVeon left the Steelers, I bet he would not flourish as well as he does here. You might have a point there. I heard somebody say earlier today, maybe teams have caught on to his patient style. I don't know. I would love to have him, just not having him at the price tag he's going to cost. So I vote for, hey, let's move on. We'll see how it goes. But I got to go, guys. I literally have to go. I appreciate you guys coming by, man. Love all the comments. Shout outs to Cody again. Love and appreciate very much so the donations, man. You guys have no idea what that means. And, if I didn't get a chance to comment to you here, make sure you follow up, watch the archive, leave a comment there, and I can chop it up with you there. All right, so I got to go. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, cut the notifications on so you know when the next video is up. And I promise, man, never hurt you to hit that like button. All right, that's going to do it for now. But as I go, let's get a Here We Go Steelers, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.